I was only 6 years old, so my parents weren't asking us if it was okay. It was just like something that they decided to do.
I remember we were sitting on the US-Canada border, and my dad's knuckles were really white, gripping the steering wheel.
When we were approaching the Texas border, my brother and I were separated from my mother. We were told by the coyote that she was going to be on the other side. I remember that it took a week or two before we actually saw her.
And so one day, as we were just saying bye to everyone,
my father took us to the border of Tijuana, in which we walked across the desert at night. I became so tired that night that he actually carried me. I fell asleep in his arms. And when I woke up in the morning, he was still carrying me. We were still walking across the desert.
I just remember like saying bye to everyone. And then the next day, my grandparents dropped us off at the airport. And that was it. Like, we just never went back.
When I tell people that I'm undocumented, usually they're surprised because I don't fit the stereotypical image of an undocumented student.
People don't believe me, really, when I say I'm undocumented. They're like, oh, you seem so American, your English is great. Even though when I tell them I came into this country with barely any English.
Undocumented are just not Latinos or people from Mexico. They're more than that. There are people from Africa, there are people from Europe, there are people from everywhere.
My father carried me across the desert in his arms to come fulfill the American dream of his family being able to overcome financial struggles that were happening in Mexico.
Currently, my parents are living as refugees in Rwanda, where they fled to after political turmoil started in my home country of Burundi.
My family came to this country because we were fleeing from poverty. A lot of times in the Middle East, it's hard to be able to afford lentil beans, let alone putting bread on the table. And so sometimes running the risk of living undocumented in the US is safer than not having the chance to find a way to survive in another country.
Growing up, I grew up with the fear of being deported. Every time I would watch the news, there will always be something about deportation.
I was just afraid of being like made fun of. I hated the word wetback, never wanted anyone to call me that, so I just pretended like I wasn't from another country.
In 2004, some of my family members were falsely accused of being terrorists, and our home was raided by the FBI and Immigration and Customs Enforcement. This has caused a great amount of emotional instability and anxiety in my life.
When I was about 7 years old, one of the guys in my apartment building molested me, and I didn't want to tell my parents, really because I thought that they had enough on their plates to worry about, and that I kind of blamed myself for what had happened, and I was afraid to tell the police about what had happened to me because I didn't think that they would help me or my family.
When I didn't have a social security number, I couldn't work, and I thought that I couldn't attend school.
My friends were talking about dorming, about going away, going to different states, while my counselor was telling me that I should apply to a community college.
Sitting in interviews with MIT, Harvard, Yale, and hearing from them of how good of a fit I would be in their schools, and then receiving rejection letters from them, it just, I thought all that I did was good enough, and I thought I was going to be able to show that letter to my parents and be like, Mom, Dad, what you did was worth it. What we together did was worth it. And then I couldn't give that to them.
So I hate saying this, but I gave up and I'm no longer a pre-med student because I just don't see that there are enough chances to make, my dreams a reality.
I was already doing trigonometry and learning about quantum mechanics while everybody else was still playing in the playground. There are many undocumented students across the nation that are very gifted. There are probably a lot of Albert Einsteins that have gone and are not able to pursue that education that they should be pursuing.
I am currently a presidential scholar at the Illinois Institute of Technology and had to take a leave of absence to pay my tremendous gap.
I struggle financially, and I understand when an undocumented student is in a position where they cannot go ahead with their studies because of financial struggles.
The UMII scholarship is a student-led initiative to support full-time undocumented students seeking their first degree at Illinois Institute of Technology. These students are academically accomplished and they are empowered to give back to their community.
I'm simultaneously pursuing my master's degree in chemical engineering and my bachelor's degree in biomedical engineering, and I hope to make a difference with my education. Just the way lots of other undocumented students want to, get an education and make a difference.
Most people think that undocumented students just want everything for free. In reality, a lot of us are working multiple jobs and still being in school, trying to get a degree and still help volunteering.
Undocumented students understand how it feels to have to struggle for something that's a basic right, and that's their education.
I have two younger brothers. One of them is a senior, the other one's a sophomore, and I know the struggles that they're going through.
We're hardworking people. We're people who are here because of our parents who brought us for a pursuit of a dream that we still believe in to this day.
By donating to this scholarship, you're giving us a chance to prove how great we are.
You're acknowledging that we are hardworking students and that our stories matter and that we have something to contribute.
We get to leave behind a legacy. We get to say that we came to our school and we left it a little better.
This scholarship is not for us. This is part of a much larger movement that is joined by Loyola University in Chicago as well as Prescott College in Arizona. Education is a human right, and undocumented students need to know that they're empowered and welcomed by the universities they choose to attend.
Sit down with an undocumented student, get to know them, get to know their story, get to know their goals in life, and you will see potential in them. You will see that they have a great future in front of them, and you will want to support them.